There was a network issue, that's why first meeting got disconnected. So let us continue now. Rights of Bailey. First right we saw, right to claim damages for loss suffered because of non-disclosure of faults in the goods by the bailer. So it is the duty of the bailer to disclose the faults in the goods. Disclose the faults in the goods. If the bailer fails to disclose the faults and the bailee suffers a loss because of that, then the bailee has a right to claim for damages for loss suffered because of non-disclosure of the faults in the goods by the bailer. Second point is right to claim reimbursement of expenses incurred by the bailee. Expenses incurred by the bailee, reimbursement, paratfed, pertawa of the goods by the reimbursement of the expenses incurred by the bailee. Okay. So let us go to the next slide. Third right of the bailee, to be indemnified in case of premature termination of gratuitous bailment. Premature termination of gratuitous bailment, the bailee will have a right to be indemnified. Next is to recover loss due to defective title of the bailer. Next, to recover the loss in case bailer's refusal to take back the goods. Suppose the bailer is not taking back the goods and there is a loss to the bailee, that loss can be recovered by the bailee. Next, right to sue the wrongdoer. And the next one is right to share the compensation. So if the bailee, these rights are common for bailer and bailee, I told you, no? If somebody is troubling the bailee from possession of the goods, bailer as well as bailee has a right to sue, has a right to file a case against such person. And if the court awards compensation in such a case, then they have a right to share the compensation. Okay. Then the next and very important right of the bailee is right of lien. Lien is what? Right of a person to retain the goods. Right of a person to retain the goods until the claim is satisfied. Correct? So if you do not pay the lawful charges of the bailee, then the bailee has a right to keep or retain the goods until you pay the charges of the bailee. That is the right of lien. There are two types of lien: general lien, right to retain property of another for general balance of accounts. This right is enjoyed by banker, factor, wharfinger, etc. Now we are concerned with the next type of lien, that is particular lien. Right to retain the goods with regard to which the remuneration is due and over which skill or labor is applied. So bailee has applied skill or labor on the goods and he has completed the purpose for which the goods were built, then he is right to he is entitled to get the remuneration. So if that remuneration is not paid to the bailee by the bailer, then in that event the bailee can retain the goods till until the payment is made. Now let us take the three examples again. The bike is repaired. The bike will be returned to you only if you pay the charges of the mechanic. If you do not pay the charges, he will tell you, no, I'm not going to return the bike to you until and unless you pay me the charges. So that right is a right of lien. The tailor will take stitching charges from you, is it not? Tailor will take stitching charges from you. So those stitching charges, if you do not pay, the tailor will not hand over the shirt to you. So that right to hold, that right to hold the goods until the stitching charges are paid is called as right of particular lien. And third example, you give the shirt for stitching or ironing, sorry, not for stitching, for washing or ironing. And once the work is done, when you go to take back the shirt, you will have to pay the charges of the laundryman. Suppose if you do not pay the charges, the laundryman has the right to retain the goods, to hold the goods of yours. That right is called as right of particular lien. Okay, let us go to the next slide. Termination of bailment. Termination means coming to an end. So in what ways the termination is effected, or in what ways the bailment comes to an end? Please read that. Have you read it? Let us read further. A contract of bailment can be terminated in any of the following ways. Termination on expiration of period of bailment. So if the bailment is for a particular period, if the bailment is for a particular period, and the period is over, then the bailment comes to an end. Second point is termination by realization or fulfillment of the purpose of bailment. Once the bike is repaired, the purpose is fulfilled, no? So the bailment comes to an end. Correct? Third point, termination by inconsistent use by bailee. Inconsistent use. So what you have told him to do, he is working inconsistent to what, to your directions. So not in consonance with your directions. You have told him to stitch the shirt, but he is trying to stitch the pant. Tailor, she's trying to stitch the pant. Then you can tell him. This point we have discussed that you can avoid the contract. No, in that event, you can ask him to return back the goods to me. So termination by inconsistent use by bailee. The contract comes to an end. Next, termination or destruction of subject matter. Termination or destruction of subject matter of bailment. So subject matter of the bailment is destroyed. So bailment comes to an end. Next point, a gratuitous bailment can be terminated if gratuitous bailment can, the gratuitous bailment can be terminated at any time by the bailer. Bailer can terminate the gratuitous bailment at any time. Next. Termination on death of bailer or bailee. So if the bailer or bailee are dead, nothing remains, no? The contract will come to an end. So here we complete our contract of bailment, revision of contract of bailment. Now next is contract of pledge. So what is the meaning of pledge? Please read. Section 172. Pledge means bailment of goods as security for payment of debt or performance of promise. So basically, pledge is bailment only, but bailment of goods as a security for payment of debt or performance of promise. So some amount is taken as a loan and the goods are kept as a security for repayment of debt. The debt which is taken, that is taken on the basis of the goods. The goods are kept as a security for payment, repayment. Okay. So for example, if you want to take a loan of rupees 10,000 from Saukar, you give your mobile to him, and on the basis of that mobile, he will give you the loan of rupees 10,000. So if you do not repay the amount of rupees 10,000 with interest, then the Saukar can sell your mobile and recover the amount. So the mobile is kept as a security. Taran. Taran. So in Hindi, pledge is girvi rakhna. Girvi rakhna. Okay? So actually, pledge is what? Girvi rakhna. So bailment of goods as a security for payment of debt or performance of promise. The person delivering the goods is called as pawner. So actually he is a bailer. Actually he is a bailer. Is it not? And the person to whom the goods are delivered is called as pawnee. So he is the bailee. So bailer in pledge will be called as pawner and bailee will be called as pawnee. Correct, no? Correct, no? Bailer will be called as pawner and bailee will be called as pawnee. Another example I can give you, that you want to have a loan of rupees 500. You keep your watch with him and take a loan of rupees 500. If you return the 500 rupees plus interest, the watch will be redelivered to you. But you fail to repay the amount of rupees 500 with interest, then in that event, your watch will be sold. Correct, no? So girvi rakhna is a pledge. Okay. And the person delivering the goods is called as pawner, and the person to whom the goods are delivered is called as pawnee. Pawner, pawnee. The bailer here will be called as pawner, and the bailee will be called as pawnee. Next, essentials. Minimum two parties are necessary. Minimum two parties are necessary. Point number two, it is a special kind of bailment. Goods are bailed as security for payment of debt or performance of promise. Bailment of only movable property. Very important point. Bailment of only movable property. So if immovable property is kept as a security and a loan is taken, that will not be called as pledge, but it will be called as mortgage. Will be called as mortgage. And mortgage is a part of Transfer of Property Act and not the part of Indian Contract Act. Correct? So bailment of only movable property. So only movable property can be kept as pledge. Only movable property can be kept as pledge. Transfer of only possession. So when you are transferring possession of your mobile to the saukar, you are not selling the mobile to the saukar. You are just transferring the possession of the mobile. Correct? Your ownership is still lying with you. The ownership is still lying with you. The last point, the person who is in juridical possession, a person who is in juridical possession of the goods can make a pledge. Juridical possession, that is de jure possession. De jure possession. The person who is in juridical possession of goods can make a pledge. Juridical possession means de jure possession. There are two types of possessions: de facto possession and de jure possession. De facto means, in fact, the possession is with whom. That person is called as de facto possessor. That person is called as de facto possessor. And de jure possessor is a person who is the owner of the goods and actually possessing the goods. Correct? So a person who is in juridical possession, so who is in ownership of the goods, can make a pledge. Okay. Now distinguish between pledge and lien. Now this is self-explanatory. You can read it. First read it, then we will study. Have you read it? Bailment of goods as security. First is definition. So first is definition, no? Definition of pledge and lien. Second is it can be created on by contract. In case of lien, it may be created by contract or may be imposed by law. So these are basic things. You can read it. I have shared the PPTs today on Google Classroom, so you can read them. Okay. Next is duties of honor. Duties of honor. Must disclose the pawnee any faults in the goods. Next, he is responsible. Hey, this we have studied, no? The duty of bailor. Correct, no? Next, he is responsible to bear expenses, extraordinary expenses in the preservation of goods. Duties of pawner. Pawner is a person who is delivering the goods. So he is responsible to bear expenses in preservation of goods. So if the goods are preserved by the pawnee, then pawner has to pay the extraordinary expenses incurred by the pawnee. Third point, pawner is liable for any loss caused to the pawnee because of defect in the title of the pawner. This point also we have discussed, no? This point we have also covered while discussing the duties of pawner. Next is rights of pawner. Right to enforce pawnee's duties. So that is common. Right to get back the goods after the repayment of debt or performance of the promise. And third is right to redeem the debt before the pawnee actually sells the goods after the default of the pawner. Suppose the pawner makes a default in repayment of the goods. Pawner makes a default in repayment of the goods. Then in that case, the pawnee gets the right to sell the goods. Correct? So before the pawnee sells the goods, pawner can. So pawner has made a default. Pawner has not made the payment. Pawner has made a default. So pawner has made a default, and before the pawnee sells the goods, pawner can pay the amount and redeem the goods. Correct? Next slide. Duties of pawnee. Take care of goods pledged. So same duty like duty of bailee. Same duty like duty of bailee. Second duty, not to make unauthorized use of the goods pledged. Same duty. Duty not to mix the pawner's goods with his own goods. Same duty. Duty to return the goods. Same duty. Duty to return the accretions to the goods. Same duty like bailee. Rights of pawnee. Right to lien. Same right. Right to retain the goods for repayment of debt or performance of the promise. So till the promise is not performed or till the debt is not repaid, the pawnee has a right to retain the goods. Next, right to claim extraordinary expenses, right to sue the pawner for default, and right to sell the goods. Correct? Now here we complete our bailment and pledge. Let us go on to the next chapter, that is contract of agency. Now please read. By that time I will give you the link for today's attendance. Google Forms. Just give me a moment. Chalo, just a minute, I'll give it to you. What is the query? In WhatsApp, some queries there already are. Hi, sir. Okay. Just a minute. Let me share with you the Google. What is the today date? 5/10/2021. I will share that with you. I have shared the attendance link. Have you received it? Please tell me. Now we'll go back to contract of agency. We will go back to contract of agency. Please read the definition. I'm sharing it again to you. Chalo, let us read contract of agency. A person employed to do an act for another or to represent another in dealings with third person is called as agent. To whom we can call it as call that that person is agent. That is the definition of contract of agency. A person employed, a person employed to do an act for another or to represent another in dealing with third persons is called as agent. The person for whom the act is done or who is so represented is called as principal. So the person who is appointing agent is called as principal, and the person who is appointed for doing act for somebody else is called as agent. So a person who is appointed to do act for the principal or represent the principal in dealings with the third party will be called as agent. Correct, no? Correct, no? Read the definition again. A person employed to do an act for another or to represent another in dealings with the third person is called as agent. The person for whom the act is done or who is so represented is called as principal. Read further. A person competent to contract can be a principal by appointing someone to act on his behalf. However, the act must not be of personal nature. Next, it is advisable to appoint a person competent to contract to enter into contract as agent. No consideration is necessary for creation of agency. No consideration is necessary for creation of agency. Now, very few minutes, very short time is remaining. So we will not proceed further. We will start with this contract of agency in the next lecture again. And till that time, we will stop here. Now we are revising all these things. First revision is going on. If time permits, we will do the second revision also. Correct. Today I have shared with you the PPTs which we are discussing today. I have shared with you, and you can read them and you can ask the difficulties. Correct. The PPTs for the first two modules are already shared on Google Classroom. Okay, so our go to Google Classroom, you will get all the PPTs now available there for your studies. Correct. So you are requested to shoot your questions if you have any difficulties. We will keep the house open. So please shoot your difficulties. What is the message sent? Sir, when start exam? You will be informed, beta, when the exam will start. Before that, you will be informed. Timetable and all things will be informed to you. Don't worry about it. So if you have no difficulties, we will wind up the lecture. Attend your lecture, next lecture at 10 o'clock sharp. Hmm? See you. Bye bye. Have a good day and all the best.